So for me to solve now, just sine 15 degree will now give you sine. You know, this is 15 now. But you know that if I should subtract 45 minus 30 gives you what? 15. So this 15 will now change to what? Bracket 45 minus 30 degree. Can see the way I change sine 15 back to what? Sine 45 minus what? 30. Now, you're using sine. How many formula do you have for sine there? 2. The first one is positive. While the second one is what? Negative. From your question, and this 15 change to what? Negative, not positive. So you looking at me now, you should know that since this one has changed to negative, 45 minus 30, you should know that I'm supposed to use the second formula. With the second formula, what's the expansion for second formula there? That should be what? Sine A cos B minus sine B cos A. Are you with me now? But you know that this is the sine, this is sine. So this A is just like what? 45. Why this your B is just like what? Is representing what? 30. So this is the expansion you're going to use to solve this sine 15. You can now substitute. This is your sine, Abi. Student, what is your A now? Your A is what? 45. This one will be what? Sine 45 degree. You now have times. This one should be what? Cos. What's my B there? Cos 30 degree. You now have minus. The next one there will be what? Sine. You can see that B is still what? 30 degree times this one will be what? Cos 45 degree. You can see the way I substitute my value there now. So JAMB says don't use calculator. Me going back now, what is your sine 45 from your table? This is a sine, Abi. Sine 45 from your table is what? Root 2 over 2. So I'll change this sine 45 back to what? Root 2 over 2 times. What is my cos 30 from the table? Cos 30 gives you what? Root 3 over 2. This one change to what? Root 3 over 2. And you have minus, Abi. So you go back again. What's my sine 30? Sine 30 is what? 1 over what? 2. See, I have times again, Abi. And what is my cos 45? Cos 45 still remain as what? Root 2 over 2. So from here, I cannot multiply root 2 times root 3. Root 2 times root 3. That means 2 times 3 will give me what? 6. 2 times 3 will be what? That should be what? Square root of what? 6. Over 2 times 2 is what? 4. Minus 1 times root 2 still gives you what? Root 2. Are you with me? Divided by 2 times 2 is what? 4. So for me, I can find the LCM of 4 and 4. LCM of 4 and 4 gives me what? 4. You draw this your line. 4 divided by 4 is what? 1. 1 times root 6 is what? Root 6. Minus 4 divided by 4 again is what? 1. And 1 times root 2 is what? Root 2. Is it among the option? Which of the option there is correct there? A. So wherever you are, just pick your calculator at home. Since you press sine 15, gives you 0.2588. Now press this root 6 minus root 2 divided by 4. Maybe it will still give you the same value as 0.2588. So our correct option there is what? Root 6 minus root 2 divided by what? 4, which is option A. So that is how to solve questions without using calculator. So take a look at it just for 1 minute before we solve one more question, please. Now, we're still going to make use of this option again. Now, what I want to do now, I want to change this sine 15. I want to change it back to cos 15 degree. You now have solved for sine 15. So which our correct answer is what? A, which is root 6 minus root 2 divided by what? 4. And as you can see, look at the formulas. We make use of this table. We make use of this what? Angles. Let's now solve for what? Cos 15. Cos 15. Cos 15 degree. You still go back again. You go back again. We want to solve for cos 15. You should know that two numbers. There's no two numbers I can add that can give me 15 out of these two numbers, all these numbers here. The only numbers I can still use again is still 45 and what? 30. Yes or no? So definitely this cos 15 can still give me cos 45 degree minus 30 degree. You know, the one for sine. I'm solving for the one of cos. Now, if I want to solve this now, you know, this A and this is B is negative. But we're talking about cos now, not more sine. How many formula do we have for cos there? 2, 1, and what? 2. 1 and 2. So which one do you believe I can use? You should know that I can't use the one of positive. I have to use one of what? Negative. So this your A is your what? 45. Why this your B is your what? 30. So what is the expansion for the negative sign there? The expansion there is what? Cos A, cos B, plus sine A, sine B, which is the expansion for cos A minus B. Cos A minus B. So I can now substitute. Anywhere I see A, I'll change it to what? 45. Anywhere I see B, I change it to what? 30. So from here, this one will turn to what? Cos 45 degree. Times this one will be what? Cos 30 degree. Plus this one will be what? Sine 45 degree. Times sine 30 degree. I'm still solving for cos 15. So I can go back to my table. What's my cos 45 from the table? Cos 45 from the table is what? Root 2 over 2. Root 2 over 2. I have times. What is my cos 30 from the table? Cos 30 from the table is root 3 over 2. Root 3 over 2. I have plus. What's my sine 45? Sine 45 from the table still remain as what? Root 2 over 2 times. And what is my sine 30 from the table? 1 over 2. So from here, root 2 times root 3. Remember, it will give you square root of what? 6. Over 2 times 2 is what? 4. Is your positive sign plus. Root 2 times 1 gives you what? Root 2. Over 2 times 2 also still gives you what? 4. So for me, I can find the LCM of 4 and 4, which is 4. Draw your line. 4 divided by 4 is what? 1. And 1 times root 6 gives you root 6. Plus 4 divided by 4 still gives you what? 1. And 1 times root 2 still gives you what? Root 2. So which of the option is for cos 15 there? Which is what? B. Hello? Please help me out. Cos 15 from the calculator there. Cos 15 from
0.9659.
0.9659. So if you are home, if you pick your calculator, press your cos 15 from your calculator to give you 0.9659. And if you still press the value for root 6 plus root 2 divided by 4, still give you the same value with this. That is why JAMB says solve questions without using what? Calculator. If you can understand these compound angles, I believe your problem is solved partially under trigonometric what? Ratio. Because by the time we get to angle of elevation and depression, you won't face any difficulties. Or by the time we get to what? Bearing and what? And distance. You understand me? So we won't have any problem. I've solved 2 questions on that compound angle. We solved 1 question on the sine, and we solve a question again on the cos. But I want us to solve a question on that tan also. Let's take a look at this question on that tan. Find the value of tan 22.5. Find the value of what? Tan 22.5. Option A says root 2 minus 1. B says root 2 plus 1. C says 1 minus root 2. Why D says root 2. The question says find the value of 22.5. Please, I want you to see the question very well. Find the value of 22.5. Question. Find the value of tan 22.5. Option A says root 2 minus 1. B says root 2 plus 1. C says 1 minus root 2. And D says root 2. Please, let's assume that you are given a calculator on the day of your exam to find the value of tan 22.5. I believe for me, I can get my answer. Please help me out. First, tan 22.5 for me, your calculator, tan 22.5. Tan 22.5 from the calculator, there is what? 22.5.
0.4142.
0.4142. That means if you are allowed to use calculator, if you press tan 22.5 from your calculator, gives you what? 0.4142. Now, let's now do something. Please, once again, we want to check out of these options, the one that will give us 0.4142. Let's start from the back. Option D, please press root 2 for us from the calculator there, root 2.
1.41.
You can see that does not go with 0.4142. Root 2 does not give you 0.4142. Please, next one, 1 minus root 2.
Minus 0.
Minus what?
0.41.
But the answer here is does not carry negative. So C is what? Wrong. Please, let's go to option B, root 2 plus 1.
2.4142.
2.41, it does not go with this 0.4142. So definitely, my answer should be what? A. Please, we don't know. A may be wrong. Root 2 minus 1 gives you what?
0.41.
Is 0.4142. That is if you are allowed to make use of what? Calculator on the day of your what exam, you quickly pick what? A. But since you are not allowed to use calculator, so how do you now want to solve tan 22.5 to give you root 2 minus 1? That is why compound angles is very, very, very important. Remember, I wrote some angles here the other time that the angle started with 30, 45, 60, 90, 180, 270, and 360. Remember, when I was solving for sine 15, we picked 45 and 30 because we can subtract. When I solved for cos 15, we also picked 45 and what? 30, because those are the two numbers we can subtract. But now we're talking about tan 22.5. If you want to pick any two numbers here for me to add, is there any two numbers I can add here that will give me 22.5? No. So I can't use tan A plus B. You know, I gave you three formulas for tan. Assuming there is any two numbers I can add here that will give me 22.5, I would have made use of what? Tan A plus B. Or assuming there is any two numbers I can subtract here that will give me 22.5, I would have used tan A minus B. So definitely I can use tan A plus B, and I can use tan A minus B. But if you can go back to the formula, the last formula I gave to you for tan, I gave you tan 2A equals to 2 tan A over 1 minus tan square A. I gave you this formula, just to know. I gave you. Since there is no two numbers I can add, that will give me 22.5. And since there is no two numbers that can subtract, that will give me 22.5. So I'm going to use tan 2A equals to 2 tan A over 1 minus tan square A. Now what am I trying to say in a nutshell? Your question is tan 22.5. This is tan and this is tan. This is A and this is 22.5. You now write let A equals to 22.5. So anyway, you see A here, you change it back to what? 22.5. So from here, I can now have tan. You know, this is your 2. A now will now change to what? 22.5 equals to 2 tan. Your area will still change to what? 22.5. Everything over 1 minus tan. This one will be what? Square. Your area will still change to what? 22.5. I believe you understand the way I change this A back to what? 22.5. Please help me out. 22.5. If you're looking at me, I hope. 22.5, if you multiply with 2, it will give you what? 45. Because now it will now turn to what? Tan 45 degree. See how it equals to what? 2 tan 22.5 over 1 minus tan squared 22.5. From here to here is clear. Now, from the table I gave to you, tan 45, we go back to that table, we said tan 45 gives us what? 1.